RT Rogers Oil Company and Precision Delivery have many kind and knowledgeable long-term employees in our Hinton office who account for transactions and dispatch fuel and explain and educate about our many products, such as our wall heaters and also our fireplace logs, which are designed for residential space heating, and we also have Rinnai tankless water heaters available. We provide many different types of fuel storage tanks along with an experienced and trained crew that will be installing them. We will then make safe and timely deliveries to these storage tanks. Our long-term employees make deliveries and also install HVAC units and install generators, while Precision Delivery transports fuel in 6 states. So, call us for a quote for delivery.
Raynell Medical Center is excellent health care right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more. At locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent health care right at home.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome into the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. This is round 3 of 3 between the Mount View Lady Knights and the Greenbrier West Lady Cavaliers. Good evening. My name is Matthew Thomas, and I'm excited to get this game started and ready to roll. The Cavaliers are warming up on the field right now, and you already know who the pitching duel this evening is going to be. It'll be Brawley Redden versus Phoebe Dudgeon. They went at it last night with Brawley Redden getting the victory, only allowing 1 hit. The Cavaliers are looking to have a similar evening and defending their home field here at Western Greenbrier against the Knights. So we'll see what happens here in just a few minutes. First pitch is scheduled just like it has been throughout all of regionals at 6 p.m. So weather permitting, we should be good to go. We only had 1 game that's been delayed so far, all of regionals due to rain. So hopefully it stays that way and we don't get any lightning delays or anything crazy like that. As of right now, the skies are pretty gray, a little bit of precipitation early on, but overall it hasn't been too horrible. 70 degrees right now. So pretty nice temperatures at first pitch. Not too much humidity. A little bit toasty. Might get a little sticky if you're sitting over at the bleachers, but that's about it. But I'm sure both teams are ready. Loser goes home. Winner heads on to the state tournament, and we will have seedings for you as soon as they're announced. It'll probably be tomorrow, so make sure you're following the Greenbrier Valley channel over on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube and on the Discovery page on Roku. And as you can see, we mentioned this yesterday. We were hoping to be able to get a pitch counter to be able to clock the speed from Dudgeon and Redden, and hopefully, as long as everything pans out, we will have that. So if you look to the top left of your screen, a little bit towards the middle, you could see that little thing that's popping up, those numbers. Those are the speeds of all the pitches, all the speeds that are thrown. So you could see the balls as they're thrown around. The clock is behind home plate, a little bit to the right, about 4 or 5 feet. this evening for the Lady Knights from Mount View. And also props to them for being able to get their 20th win not against the Cavaliers, but their 20th win on the season. Into this game pitching, as I mentioned earlier, will be Phoebe Dudgeon. Her statistics on the season: 131 full innings pitched. She started 25 games. She's even got herself a save as well. Record of 19 wins, 6 losses. She's allowed 95 hits, 92 runs. 47 of those have been earned, so a lot of the runs that have come across the plate, nearly half of them haven't even been earned from Dudgeon. A lot of them are errors. She's got 69 walks, but 269 strikeouts. 27 hit by pitch, and that ERA rose a little bit when she faced the Cavaliers yesterday, and it rose to 2.511. So just a little bit over a 2.50 ERA for Miss Dudgeon on the season. She's also left 112 on base this season, 41 stolen bags allowed, and opponents are only batting 188 off of her this season. And now for Briley Redden for the Cavaliers, who will be on the rubber. 98 innings pitched, 18 games played, and 17 of those have been starts. She has a record of 11 wins, 6 losses. She's allowed 95 hits, 66 runs, 34 of those are earned, 21 walks, 168 strikeouts. She's only hit, a little bit unique here, she's only hit 4 players by pitch, so pretty low for Redden. And her ERA is slightly below Miss Dudgeon's at a 2.42. So very, very, very similar ERAs from both clubs. She's left 68 on base, allowed 14 stolen bases. Now Brooklyn Adkins there behind the plate has been a huge help with her this year. So, and that's probably one of the biggest differences in their ball clubs from a fielding perspective, is the fact that Briley Redden has only allowed 58% of her stolen base percentage. So being able to pick off 42% of the batters that try to go across, but she does have a little bit higher of opponent's batting average in 236, but still not too shabby at all. 236 opponent batting average is still pretty solid, but not quite as good as Miss Dudgeon. So we'll see who takes the victory this evening. Cavaliers would love to have their young stars, especially in their hitters, come away through for this ball game. We'll go and get the statistics from yesterday's game in the Cavaliers' 9-0 victory. Diana Porter had a huge hitting night yesterday, going 3 for 4 on the plate. And that's an underclassman that the Cavaliers need her to come through. The third baseman also scored twice on runs herself. Briley Redden was at 2 for 3. She had 3 RBIs and also scored. Brooklyn Adkins was 2 for 3 yesterday, also with an RBI. Eliana Dietz, 1 for 3. Can I have your attention here real quick before we get to tonight's matchup between the Cavaliers and the Lady Knights? If you have not yet purchased a ticket on this hockey card up at the front, please make sure to do so, please, before the ball game starts. We have a few minutes before the first pitch starts, so please make sure if you haven't already purchased a ticket, please go up there to the front, right in front of the press boxes, please.
No, you.
Readiness for the rest of the Cavaliers. Eliana Dietz also got herself going yesterday. She was 1 for 3 at the plate, She also had an RBI, but was also strikeout victim of Dudgeon. Kaylin Bevins, literally the exact same stats as Miss Eliana Dietz did. 1 for 3 with a strikeout and also an RBI as well. Gracie Rhodes was hitless in yesterday's ball game, but she did have a walk and an RBI, so was able to produce. She also scored herself. And the national anthem is being played now. We will be right back. Alrighty, the national anthem has been played, and now we're going to get to the keys of the game brought to you by Crawley Feed Store. For the Cavaliers, they need to push against this Lady Knights team here this evening. They need to get runners on base and to try to put the pressure on Miss Phoebe Dudgeon just like they did yesterday. As for the Lady Knights, they need to keep the Cavaliers off the base pads, keep those runners, and also keep the batters cold, keep those bats cold for the Cavaliers. They don't want any of the Lady Cavaliers heating up, especially towards the bottom part of the lineup. The last 3 hitters in the lineup, in Hunter, Edens, and Tolley, and also Rhodes, neither one of them, none of the 4 players in the 6 through 9 part of the lineup for the Cavaliers had a hit yesterday. And that's exactly what this Knights lineup is going to need this evening in order to pull off this upset here at Western Greenbrier this evening. So keep those bats cold for the Cavaliers, and Greenbrier West needs to hit hard with their top part of the lineup. Briley Redden needs to do her thing in keeping runners off the base pads, just like she did yesterday, only allowing 1 hit. And for those of you just tuning in, welcome. First pitch is about to begin between the Cavaliers and the Knights. This will be the first game of regionals that we've had a pitch speed counter. So if you all are wondering what the little black box is up towards the top middle of your screen, that is how fast the pitch speed is. So look forward to seeing, and also drop us in the comments if any of the pitch speeds from either Briley Redden or Miss Phoebe Dudgeon impress you. All right, we are underway from Western Greenbrier. And that's going to be a bunt down, fielded by Diana Porter, and first pitch, 1 out for Briley Redden. She's able to retire the runner here early. That's exactly what the Cavaliers need, quick efficiency. as now Cheyenne Belcher chokes heavily up on her bat. She hits a foul ball back towards the backstop for strike one. In yesterday's matchup, we mentioned how heavily Briley Redden was using the strike zone. Well, she did it. 77% of her pitches were strikes in yesterday's matchup. That's what the Cavaliers are going to need in order to succeed. And if she does that for the Knights, they're going to have to make her pay. Let's see if they can do it. Redden. Outside pitch will be called ball number 2. And the away side for the Lady Knights. Mountview trying to rattle Redden here early. 2-1. Swung on and missed. Redden able to blow the inside pitch past her before the head of the bat can make it out there. Redden 13 Ks in yesterday's game, looking for her first here. Foul ball off the side. I believe that might have hit the home plate umpire there. Couldn't quite tell. Speaking of the umpires this evening, we have Mike Stentz over there manning first base, Dwayne Deskins on third, and then Mr. David Austin is your home plate umpire for this evening. Swung on and missed, and that is the first strikeout of the evening for Briley Redden. She'll get one early. And now Redden's rubber opponent, Phoebe Dudgeon, who's just as good of a hitter as she is a pitcher, steps up. Dudgeon swings just a tad late. Going past the first baseline for strike one. So far, not the greatest start for these Knights as they're trying to get some early pressure in on Redden, but that can change in a heartbeat. Let's see if it does here on this pitch. The 0-1. And Dudgeon late, trying to time up Redden's fastball. So now no balls, 2 strikes. In yesterday's matchup, Dudgeon was 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. The only hit of the game was by their catcher, Rose. Upstairs for ball 1. Something about these Knights that I really respect is the amount of noise and excitement that they bring from their away crowd. Every single one of them is always up, not only in the dugout, but also the parents making some noise and trying to get their team pumped up. But it doesn't matter how pumped up you are. Briley Redden is going to get a called strike on the inside corner, and that'll do it for the top of the first. Cavaliers tie the game still, and we'll head down to the bottom of the first. Cavaliers will be up to bat first.
Raynell Medical Center is excellent healthcare right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more. At locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent healthcare right at home.
Welcome back to the bottom of the first inning here on the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. And I also got an exciting announcement for all the Greenbrier West Lady Cavaliers as they come up to bat here. It'll be Diana Porter up to bat first, on deck Briley Redden, and in the hole will be Brooklyn Adkins, the catcher. Any Cavalier in this game that is able to hit a home run is going to get a $50 from Dave's Towing, and we're going to call it Dave's Dingers here in this ball game. So thanks so much to Dave's Towing for sponsoring in this game here. And if any Cavalier at any point during the game, whether the Cavaliers win or lose, they're going to get themselves $50 if they can hit a dinger, a Dave's Dinger, over the fence. So let's see if we get one here in the bottom of the first inning. All right, here we go. Diana Porter so far on this season, latter part of the season, this is her 100th plate appearance on the dot. She's had 76 at-bats and a .368 average, but a .510 on-base percentage. So she's on base more than half the time. And Diana Porter does have a home run on the season. Right now would be a perfect time and the perfect game to make it number 2. She shows bunt, though. That's going to make it foul and out of play. There for a split second, I thought Fowler was going to have herself some time to make the play over. But the speedy third baseman, not enough time, is not much airmail over towards the third base side. And Porter swings. Not something we've seen a ton from Porter here in this regionals. We've seen her swing, but not as much with nobody on the bases with less than 2 strikes. So she'll choke up on her at bat. Dudgeon, the 0-2. And Porter, it's going to hit the gap. That's plenty of speed for Porter. She's going to have at least 2. Cavaliers in business here in the bottom of the first inning. The third pitch of the ball game, Diana Porter sends a double over to the left field as Bonds played it, but not quite in time. And now Briley Redden up to bat for the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers' leading hitter on 81 at-bats for the season is hitting .580. So expect a hit here, and she's been on base almost 2/3 of the time. That'll be ball 1 upstairs and a little bit inside on Redden. So good start for Greenbrier West. That's exactly what they need, especially from the younger Porter, able to put pressure on this Lady Knights team. Upstairs for ball 2. This would be the perfect situation, if there was one, for there to be a walk, and I don't blame Dudgeon if she unintentionally walks Redden. We'll see what she decides to do. Sees if she can maybe get a pop-up or something, but doesn't want to give her anything easy. She delivers one. Strike 1 called right down the middle. 2 balls, 1 strike on the senior ace. And Redden cracked that one on the ground towards Fowler, but it's foul and out of play to even up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. In yesterday's matchup, Miss Redden went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs against Miss Dudgeon. She would love to add another RBI to that list. And we're going to have time. Called by David Austin, the home plate umpire. Getting some more softballs. The slow windup from Dudgeon. And that's going to hit Redden's elbow. And that'll put her on first base. So the Cavaliers in business. In big-time business. We talked about Redden, not many hit by pitch, as she's only done hit 4 players. with the softball this season. Phoebe Dudgeon, that was her 28th hit by pitch of the season. So she's got about 7 times as many as Redden does. That'll be strike one called on the inside corner on the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Brooklyn Adkins. Adkins had yesterday what I personally would call a breakout day. As the ball's outside, Adkins from the plate went 2 for 3, had herself an RBI, and also scored herself. So the 2 seniors back-to-back in Redden and Adkins both had exceptional days from the plate. Upstairs, that'll be ball 2. So Dudgeon a little bit outside the zone to start this ball game against the Cavaliers. Adkins swung on and miss. A nice heater to get Adkins behind. And now the count is evened up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So far, Dudgeon almost 50-50. Out of her 12 pitches, 7 of them are strikes. And she gets Adkins to swing and miss. And she'll be her first strikeout victim of the day. So now the freshman Eliana Dietz up to bat for the Cavaliers. And they need her really badly to come through. She was 1 for 3 in yesterday's contest, a whole lot of ones. She had 1 strikeout, 1 RBI, and also 1 run. As she scored herself. She yields strike 1 to Dudgeon. Dietz definitely a threat at any point to swing the bat for the Cavaliers, and that's why she is the cleanup hitter, even though she's only a freshman. 71 at bats. She's hitting at 380 on her average and getting on base over half the time at a 511 average. Eliana Dietz chokes up about 1.5 inches. And she's going to swing, and it goes straight to the backstop. And as you can see, your aerial coverage brought to you by Advanced Hydraulics, as we can see the fielding positions for the Knights so far. All players so far neutral for the Knights, except for their shortstop Ray. She moves back just a little bit. She's aware of Dietz's ability to put the ball in play. Out of her 27 hits this season, 22 of them are singles. So if she hits the ball, it's probably not going far. Inside pitch, that'll be the first ball of the at-bat. That's the beautiful thing about the game of softball. It doesn't matter how hard you hit the ball. Sometimes you just got to put it in the right spots. And even though she's got 27 hits, she's also got 25 RBIs. Upstairs, that's going to be a pass ball. And Porter and Redden will comfortably move up. So the Cavaliers have 2 in scoring position and in danger of taking the lead here in the bottom of the first. Two balls, 2 strikes here on Dietz. Dietz going to avoid becoming a strikeout victim here. She'll be defending. And that pitch, pretty easy to defend whenever the ball is thrown about 1.5 feet in front of the home plate. So that double early from Porter has definitely turned out to be a little bit of a pressure point on Phoebe Dudgeon earlier in this game. Big pitch here, full count. Swung on and foul tipped. Eliana Dietz will stay alive. Dietz has been a strikeout victim 20 times this season. which ties for fourth on the Cavaliers with one of her other teammates, Diana Porter, who's on third, also has 20. Outside, and she's going to be walked. We're loaded here at Western Greenbrier Middle School. And Phoebe Dudgeon with one out would love to have a ground ball hit to her by Miss Kaylin Bevins, who on the season has 74 at-bats, a .257 average, and reaches almost 1 out of every 3 at-bats at a .325 average. The pitch is away, shows bunt, but she'll pull back for ball 1. Unfortunately for the Lady Knights, the second leading base stealer on the team, third. Diana Porter is over on third. So if a pass ball is able to curl around the side of the fence, it's going to score. But Rose is going to do everything she can to keep the ball out in front. So 2-0 is the current count. Infield is going to move in as Ray and Belcher take their time. Any hit to the outfield is likely going to score at least 2, if not 3. Outside, 3-0 early count. Dudgeon, with the way hits came yesterday, only being able to hit one time against Brawley Redden. She can't afford to just walk a batter here. She's going to have to face Bevins, see what she chooses to do. The 3-0. Right down the middle for strike 1. If you're Dudgeon here, I say try to make the Cavaliers, especially these underclassmen, put the ball in play, make them swing at it. Dudgeon had herself a good bit of strikeouts yesterday. And that one's going to be called outside for ball 4. And the Cavaliers, for the first run of the game, walk one in. So Kaylin Bevins will get herself an RBI. And now Gracie Rhodes, who I would call the fastest player on this Cavaliers team, now comes up to bat. Called strike 1. Rhodes not known for swinging much on earlier parts of the count. Let's see if she does here. She chokes up on the 0-1. And she'll swing and get underneath that one for strike 2. So early 0-2 hole. In yesterday's ball game, she was 0 for 2 on the day, but still productive as she walked once and also had a pop-up, which was able to give her an RBI for the game as well. The 0-2. Low in the zone. Redden will stay put where she's at third base. Cavaliers have them loaded at first base is Kaylin Bevins. Second is Eliana Dietz. And over at third is Briley Redden. Phoebe Dudgeon settles herself. The 1-2 pitch. And called strike on the inside corner. A lot of movement there on that pitch. Had Gracie Rhodes fooled. And that'll be 2 outs. Big plate appearance right here for the Cavaliers as they have them loaded. Jenna Hunter. And she'll swing and miss at the first strike so far on the season. Miss Hunter has herself 1 hunter. And she'll foul that ball back in an 0-2 hole. But a Dave Stinger could be in play here as Jenna Hunter has hit a home run this season. Will we see one here? Will we see one here for Miss Jenna Hunter? Let's find out. In yesterday's matchup, Miss Hunter was 0 for 3 with the strikeouts. Let's see if she changes that here. Foul ball makes it to the backstop. The catcher Rose not quite able to hold on to it. Phoebe Dudgeon checks her forearm for the call. This is absolutely huge early in this ball game. The Knights can't afford to give up an early big lead here in insurance runs. And Hunter crushed that one, but it's going to hit just foul. As Jenna Hunter was all over that pitch, and you could see the left fielder on our aerial cam. Brought to you by Advanced Hydraulics. Bonds was over there to the left side, but that ball didn't stay up in the air for long. And thankfully for the Mount View Knights, it ripped just foul. All right, here we go. No balls, 2 strikes. Hunter will stay defending here. Dudgeon with that slow lineup. And Hunter another foul ball. She's the 7th hitter in this lineup, so the Cavaliers nonetheless have been able to work Dudgeon's pitch count up here. Redden only throwing 11 pitches in the first. Dudgeon, that was her 34th. But for those of you that haven't watched any of the Mount View Lady Knights play in this regional series, they are not going to replace Dudgeon if at all possible. Other pitchers on their team have only pitched 4 innings total the whole season, so it's been all Dudgeon. And swing and a miss. Phoebe Dudgeon, a huge strikeout, and she's able to leave them loaded. And we'll head to the top of the second inning. Cavaliers strike first, 1-0.
R.T. Rogers Oil Company and Precision Delivery have many kind and knowledgeable long-term employees in our Hinton office who account for transactions and dispatch fuel and explain and educate about our many products, such as our wall heaters and also our fireplace logs, which are designed for residential space heating. And we also have Renai tankless water heaters available. We provide many different types of fuel storage tanks along with an experienced and trained crew that will be installing them. We will then make safe and timely deliveries to these storage tanks. Our long-term employees make deliveries and also install HVAC units and install generators, while Precision Delivery transports fuel in 6 states. So, call us for a quote or delivery.
Alrighty, welcome back everyone. As you can see, the aerial coverage brought to you by Advanced Hydraulics. Beautiful camera shots coming to you guys, courtesy of all of our sponsors here for this evening's game. If you're curious about who you can support and everybody that's been allowing us to make this game possible and our other regional matchups as well, take a look at the bottom of your screen. That ticker shows every single one of the sponsors as well as the logos that are on the top right as well. All right, we're back to ball at Western Greenbrier Middle School, home of the Lady Cavaliers. But the Lady Knights would like to change that this evening. Winner will move on to the state tournament in Charleston. Loser is packing their bags and going home. Redden will pitch to Rose. Another strike on the day for Redden. Out of her 12 pitches, 9 of them have been strikes. She's been all inside the strike zone today for the Lady Cavaliers. And called strike 2. As Rose was looking on the bottom part of the zone. And her third base and also head coach pumps her up. Wide open gap as the Cavaliers shift over. Rose is a pull hitter, so definitely a threat to go to the opposite side of the field. Let's see what she does here. The 1-2. Swung on, but it's going to make it well out of play. Brooklyn Adkins has some hops, but not quite a 300 or 400 inch vertical, so that'll get out of play. Rose was hitless in yesterday's game. Would love to change that today. Upstairs, just upstairs for ball number 2. And that'll even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Speaking of yesterday's game, it's Rose. She's going to crack that one. It hits the gap. She's going to have at least 2 here. The throw is made down. And Rose gets on second base. And with nobody out, Mount View says we're not going away. They get a double, so man on scoring position. As the catcher Rose will come up to bat for the Mount View Lady Knights. Man, my goodness. Kaylee Rose absolutely crushed that ball and sent it to the gap. It was several feet away from a home run, but nonetheless puts pressure on Briley Redden. And the away side over near the Knights is making some noise, trying to rattle Redden out there on the rubber. Swung on and missed. She goes back to the old reliable fastball to even up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Madison Rose on the season, 64 at bats and a .344 average. Redden would love to lower that, and Rose would love to raise it. She'll be defending here with her back up against the wall. Another thing to notice as well that might be messing with the hitter as well, or any hitters that come up to the box for that matter. The sun decided to peek over here at the middle school, over to the left field side. And Rose, she cracks that one. Gracie Rhodes over there, and she'll make the play. Good job by Gracie Rhodes, and an even better job by Kaylin Bevins coming all the way in from left field. As Eliana Dietz dropped it, that is really good coaching and also great awareness by Kaylin Bevins. If that ball would have got past Eliana Dietz into the left field, that would have allowed Rose to be able to move up 60 feet. Outside, that'll be ball 1. Nonetheless, regardless of how things have gone in the past for the Mount View Lady Knights against the Cavaliers, they're making some good contact in today's game. As Tyshira Ray up to bat now for the Knights. 58 at-bats, 241 average, but man, that 241 average does not give her justice to her on-base percentage. 429 OBP this season. The 1-1. Inside ball 2. Redden starting to get a little bit out of the zone. Another ball inside. 3-1 count for Mount View. And Tyshira Ray is in the driver's seat now. You just saw the fielding assignments. Pretty neutral except for Lake and Tolley being out just a little bit farther at second base. So Tyshira Ray watched that ball on the inside corner. Full count. Big at bat here. Swung on and just got a piece of it. As she'll waste a Redden fastball. We'll see if Briley Redden is choosing to set her up. Maybe on the bottom part of the zone with a changeup. Or if she's going to stay where she's been with the fastball. So far, that fastball's been her bread and butter. And she sticks to it, but good job by the Lady Knights. Is Ray able to get another piece of it? The number 6 hitter in the lineup and their shortstop on the season has done a good job, and also she is one of their biggest threats to steal bases, third on the team. She's stolen 10 bags this season as a Lady Knight. So full count. She's already seen 6 pitches this at bat. Lady Knights away dugout are making some noise. Swung on and missed. And Briley Redden says, let's go from the mound. And she blows that by Tyshira Ray for the second out of this inning. She's Redden's third strikeout victim of this young evening. And we have time called by the first base umpire. There was a softball over towards the away dugout, and he wanted to make sure that in case if there was a pop out, then nobody tripped over the ball. So Ashanti Bonds up to bat. She swung and missed at that pitch. 41 at bats, 244 average, 392 on base percentage. The main 3 that matter. As the Cavaliers and Knights have a little bit of a chuckle. It looked like there was maybe a pin. Couldn't tell what that was over near the third base side of things. The 0-1. She watches it as it goes down the middle. And that'll be strike 2. Bonds will be defending. They need a big hit from the bottom part of their lineup. And that one's fouled, and that will hit the mask of Brooklyn Adkins. Good job by home plate umpire David Austin. Took a second to give Adkins a breather. He's checking on her, making sure she's good to go. She says, ain't nothing going to hurt my hard head. I can agree with that statement. The 0-2. And Bonds just gets a piece of it to foul that away. And so Redden definitely being worked more in this second inning than what she did in the first. So far, 23 pitches in the second inning. Only had 11 in the first. And that's going to be just inside and a little bit high for ball 1. That was still nonetheless a good placement pitch there. Good waste, if you will, for Redden. The 1-2. Swung on, and these Knights are making, that is definitely their biggest improvement, at least for the first 2 innings, especially in this second, is making contact and wasting pitches. They were not able to do that yesterday against Redden, and it showed on the stat sheet. She had 13 strikeouts. The away stands, the cowbells are out there making noise, but not enough as she's able to get Bonds looking. And that'll be the fourth strikeout of the evening for the Cavaliers. They leave one stranded in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Cavaliers looking for some insurance runs. Up 1-0.
Raynell Medical Center is excellent healthcare right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more. At locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent healthcare right at home.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. The bottom of the second is ready to begin. Miss Phoebe Dudgeon will face Miss Emma Edens. She'll face the 8-9-1 hitters, Edens, Tolley, and then back to Diana Porter, who scored and got herself a nice lead-off double back in the first inning. And a quick reminder for those of you that are just joining us. First of all, welcome in. Second of all, if there's a home run hit in this game for the Cavaliers, we have a Dave's Dinger special going on. If there's any home runs hit outside the park by the Cavaliers, they will donate $50 to whichever Cavalier is able to rip that home run. Oh, 1 is the count early. Ball 1 to even it up. Miss Edens on the season does have herself a home run. A lot of this Cavalier lineup has one home run. There's a few that have multiple. Most of them is just one. Adkins has 2, and Redden has 6. That one makes it to the outfield, but able to be caught by the center fielder Barnes, and that'll sit down the first batter of the bottom of the second for Greenbrier West. Now the freshman Lakin Tolley. Regardless of how this game is being played, both teams have done a good job putting the ball in play and making contact. A whole lot of foul balls over on the Knights side of things. Lakin Tolley late on that fastball for strike 1. One out, 0-1 count. Tolley swung on and missed. She's going to be defending here. The second baseman is one of the freshmen on this Cavaliers squad. They would love her to get on fire as she'll hit a foul ball, makes it to the backstop. And she'll be defending here with her back up against the wall. 1 ball, 2 strikes. These are important at bats. As Tolley heavily chokes up on her bat. These are important at bats, especially for the Knights. They don't want the Cavaliers to score any insurance runs. That changeup is absolutely disgusting for Phoebe Dudgeon if she can manage to get that thing in the zone. In yesterday's matchup, I remember Gracie Rhodes whenever she was up to bat against it. She knew it was a strike, but the changeup is so much slower than the fastball that she can't do anything about it. Outside ball 2. So after starting out the count 0-2, Lake and Tolly battles back to even it up. These are big for the Cavaliers, not only now, but also if they're able to make it past the Knights and advance to the state tournament. They need their underclassmen to come through with hits and to get on base. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. And that'll get 2 of them as Diana Porter comes back to bat for Greenbrier West. And the top hitter at the top of the lineup had herself a double last inning and is the lone run to score in this ball game. So with 2 outs, Porter is up again. And Porter hits that one over to left field. It looks like Bonds will get under it, and she does. So Shanti Bonds able to retire the third batter of this inning, and we'll head to the top of the third inning. Cavaliers holding on with Dear Mercy to a 1-0 lead. Alrighty, welcome back everyone on the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. As Brooklyn Atkins makes the call, throws it down to Eliana Dietz at second. And the top of the third is ready to roll. Something I've noticed throughout this game, not only the beautiful weather bringing fans out, but also how high the stakes are. The home side of the bleachers are absolutely full and packed for this game between the Cavaliers and the Knights. The bombsicle bat is brought back out as Fowler yields strike 1. It is the 8-9-1 hitters, just like it was for the Cavaliers, to start this top of the third. Inside pitch called strike 2. Redden on fire, and as you can see, the speedometer there up at the top. Top of your screen. And that's another strikeout on the day for Briley Redden. That'll be number 5 on the afternoon. And into the evening, as it'll be Hood up to bat. She'll show bunt, but she missed it. It'll be called strike 1. Brianna Hood on the season is 24 at bats, 125 average, and a 250 on base percentage. But she's got herself a nice gap if she does choose to swing the bat to the left of Tolly, as the infielders are shifted just slightly to the right. And that one's going to be cracked right at the shift. Is she going to have enough time? Oh, what a play by Lakin Tolley, the second baseman. She was just being talked about, and she said, I hear my name being called. Let me make a play. We're going to check it out on the advanced hydraulics replay. The 0-2 swung on, and Hood is able to move down the line pretty well. She has herself on the season. 6 stolen bases, but Lakin Tolley said, you're not getting on base today, or at least not right now. So that'll be the second out of this top of the inning. And the ball was out of the zone, but Barnes went and chased it. So that'll be strike one. Barnes, 74 bats, 392 average, and over 500 on-base percentage. Malaya Barnes needs a big one here for the Knights to try to put some pressure on Briley Redden. And it seems like there's no pressure that this kid can endure. A little bit of a struggle of a second inning, but she's mowing the lawn here in the third. Will she be strikeout victim number 6? No, she won't be. Oh, and Diana Porter not able to field it cleanly. And oh my goodness, Malaya Barnes, such a good job getting down the line. We'll have to check that out on the advanced hydraulics replay, as that play was close. I believe she was definitely safe, though. Looked like a good call there from Mike Stentz, but we're going to check it out. Man, oh man, that was in the glove of Porter. And that will be the first error of the game. Might have to roll that back a little bit. Couldn't quite see if outside pitch called there, ball one. I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see. And as you can see, yes, her foot hits the bag right there. Definitely safe on the play. But very close. Good camera work there. Right field there by Joe Sharp. Swung on and missed. Cheyenne Belcher, the number 2 hitter in this lineup. 63 at-bats, 254 average, but a 510 on-base percentage for Belcher, as she is choking up heavily on her bat. Outside pitch called ball 2. To be honest with you, she's choking up so much that if the ball even went slightly outside the zone, I don't know if her bat would be able to reach out as far. Let's see if that happens. Inside pitch. Positive for the Cavaliers is that they're not a team that you could steal on. A lot of single-A teams don't have the greatest of catchers, but Adkins is the opposite. Only 58% of runners have been successful against Brooklyn Adkins this year, and that is extremely low for single-A. Called strike right down the middle. Count is full. Big bat right here. The Cavaliers need to get off the rubber and get some more insurance runs. And the Lady Knights need to get on the board. Swung on and missed. Briley Redden, strikeout victim number 6. And we're going to head to the bottom of the third, as that strikeout is brought to you by Burke and Herbert Bank. We'll be right back here on the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. 1 hit apiece. Cavaliers lead 1-0.
R.T. Rogers Oil Company and Precision Delivery have many kind and knowledgeable long-term employees in our Hinton office who account for transactions and dispatch fuel and explain and educate about our many products, such as our wall heaters and also our fireplace logs, which are designed for residential space heating. And we also have Renai tankless water heaters available. We provide many different types of fuel storage tanks, along with an experienced and trained crew that will be installing them. We will then make safe and timely deliveries to these storage tanks. Our long-term employees make deliveries and also install HVAC units and install generators, while Precision Delivery transports fuel in 6 states. So, call us for a quote for delivery.
Shelter thing? Yeah, that's the pitch counter. Welcome back. As you can see, all the Lady Knights out on the field, Mount View, and their assignments both in the out and infield. And the aerial coverage down there in the bottom right of your screen brought to you by Advanced Hydraulics. And the throw will be made down from Rose to Ray. Rose to Ray, that would be a really good stolen base. Little stolen base saying if we could get it. 2, 3, 4 hitters up for Greenbrier West. Red and Adkins on deck. And Dietz in the hole. And she cracked that one, but it's going to be just foul. So it got a couple feet to the left of the baseline. And it looks like Rose saw something that she noticed. Maybe whether it was an advantage that they could get against Redden or maybe just telling her what she had for lunch this afternoon. Either way, they break up their little conference between the rubber and the plate. So Redden down 0-1 early. She's got power in her bat. Inside, called ball 1. And speaking of the bottom of the inning, since the Cavaliers are up to bat, a Dave's Dinger, if there is a home run hit, Dave's Towing will donate a Dave's Dinger, which is $50 to any Cavalier player that is able to hit a home run. And Redden just over the third baseman, Fowler. So Redden will be on first. She's going to second. She's going to make it there comfortably as the throw was cut off just short by Belcher. And so Redden will get herself a single, and we'll call it a stolen base. She's able to make it to second. As the catcher, Brooklyn Atkins, up to bat for West. On the day, she's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Definitely doesn't want to repeat that again. Let's see what she does here in this at-bat. And oh my goodness, Adkins swung as she didn't realize that ball was going to get down. It's going to score Redden. Oh my goodness, Adkins, she's going to go to second. Oh my goodness, and a wasted pitch there by Brooklyn Adkins, and it's going to go as an infield single. My, oh my. I don't know what I just saw, but if you're a Cavalier fan, you liked it. That's the third hit on the day for Greenbrier West. And sometimes the ball just flat out rolls your way, and that's exactly what happened. We'll check out the replay here in just a second. It looked like the pitch hit the bottom of the dirt in front of the home plate. And when it did, Adkins happened to hit the ball in play, but she had enough speed to beat it out to first base. All right, Eliana Dietz, who on the day so far has walked in her one plate appearance. She'll show bunt. It's going to be ruled a foul ball. Must have hit the top part of the bat. So that'll move Adkins back to second. So good start to this third inning here for the Cavaliers. And there's something about third, as the ball is just slightly up high on Dietz. It's even up at 1-1. There's something about third innings for the Cavaliers. The past matchup they had against these same Knights, they scored 3 runs. And then the game before against Webster, they scored 17 in the third. So it's almost like the Cavaliers take 2 runs to get their engine revved, and then after it's revved, they take off like a Lamborghini Huracan down the highway. So 2 balls, 1 strike on the freshman. See if Dietz can come through for her squad. She just got a piece of that one. to even up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And speaking of the Dave's Dinger, Eliana Dietz does not have a home run on the season. This would be a perfect outing for her to get one. And swung on and missed. A beautiful changeup there from Phoebe Dudgeon. As that pitch just had a little bit too much action and movement on it. And that'll be the 5th K of the day for Miss Dudgeon. Speaking of 5 Ks, the 5th hitter in the lineup, Kaylin Bevins, now up to bat. She shows bunt. And that's going to be ruled a foul ball. And Bevins thought for sure that she was hit by a pitch, but it didn't matter as her hand was clearly out there in front of the plate, and that's what it hit. So basically it'd be the same as if you took your leg and decided to put it out in front of the plate. That's not how it works. It'd be ruled a strike. You're not allowed to intentionally be hit by the pitch. All right, so the 0-1, first baseman moves in. Outside, and Adkins a late pickoff, but the throw is high, and Brooklyn Adkins doing a split down there on the ground, it looked like. Her legs were at 90-degree angle, but she's going to move up 60 feet to third base. Man, if that throw would have been on the money, she'd have been out, but thankfully for the Cavaliers, she's safe. Swung on a miss there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But as of right now, the Lady Knights hanging around in this ball game. Rose over there at first base moved up for the first 3 pitches of this at bat. She's going to move back now that Bevins has 2 strikes. And swung on a miss. It's 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd for Greenbrier West. And that will put, so far on the day, for Miss Bevins, that'll bring her to 0-1 as she walked and brought in an RBI, her first at bat. So Gracie Rhodes, a strikeout victim, her first at bat. She'll show bunt, and that one gets in the air, but it gets out of play several feet. And Dudgeon and Rose laugh about it for a second. I think Dudgeon would have liked Rose to dive for that, but it had to have been the farthest dive in the history of humanity, as that was about 15 feet away from where she was standing. Rhodes, as she spins the bat, swung on and missed. Rhodes having a little bit of trouble timing up that fastball from Dudgeon. Swung on and missed a couple times so far in this ball game. All it takes is one, though. And that one's popped up, and it's going to make it over and out of play. So the count will stay 0-2 on Miss Rhodes. Nonetheless, these Knights are doing a great job at simply hanging around in this ball game. Even though they've allowed runs in 2 of the 3 innings, they're still managing to hang around. That's exactly what they did in Wednesday's victory over the Cavaliers. Outside pitch, swung on and missed. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cavaliers tack on another run, and they lead by 2.
Raynell Medical Center is excellent healthcare right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more. At locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent healthcare right at home.
Alrighty, top of the fourth inning is about ready to begin. Each team so far with an air of peace, but the Cavaliers out hitting the Lady Knights 3 hits to 2 hits, but the Cavaliers have been able to execute and get them when they matter. Bevins was able to walk in the 1 run that the Cavaliers have. Nonetheless, it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Dudgeon, Rose, and Rose up to bat. Outside pitch as it catches the edge, called strike 1. Swung on and missed again for strike 2. Redden making good work so far, and it's Kaylee Rose to bat first, and then Madison Rose the second one. But Redden trying to get the best of her rubber opponent. Outside, she'll waste that one trying to get the chase. Dudgeon was a strikeout victim. Her last at bat. And that time she gets underneath of it. So it'll stay 1-2 on the count. And you can see the speedometer of the pitch right there on the top near the middle of your screen. Redden going at about 55 miles an hour right now on that fastball. Outside, 58 on that pitch. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes is the current count. The senior Dudgeon needs to come through for her squad right here. She comes through with pitching. Can she come through with hitting? And she had wide eyes. I don't know if we were able to get a look at that, but man, it was pretty funny, the view we got up here in the press box. Her eyes were wide open as she was moved outside just a tad. And now the count is full at 3-2. Redden can't afford to put her on base. And she will, as she walks her in her second at bat. So Dudgeon not able to get much hitting-wise, but she's still able to make it on base. That's her 16th walk of this season. As Kaylee Rose, who I believe they call Barbie because that's what it says on the back of her helmet, little cold decal. She's looking to make some work happening into Redden. She's 1 for 1 on the day so far. The 1 lone hit on the day for the Knights. And we'll see how aggressive Mount View decides to be on the base pads. As Brooklyn Adkins will try to throw down. She's not easy at all to steal on, as I mentioned early in this game. Only 58% of runners have been able to steal against her so far this year. Redden. And it helps whenever your fastballs are as quick as Brawley Redden's are out there at the rubber. But nonetheless, it's still got to be there. 2-1, this is a big pitch here. Which hitter or pitcher will take advantage? It's going to be Brawley Redden, who's going to have to take a back seat for the time being. Cavaliers can't afford 2 straight walks here, as the tying run is Kaylee Rose right now batting. She's got Madison Rose, the catcher, on deck. Swung on and missed. She got behind the fastball. 59, almost topping 60 on that pitch. Redden amping it up. She nursed an injury in the first matchup that they played. She's looking good today. But that's going to be a walk. And runners are now on first and second. The door is slightly cracked now for the Lady Knights of Mount View, as Madison Rhodes, 64 at bats on the season, 344 average, comes up to bat. She's 0 for 1 on the day. Rose, swing and a miss. Bradley Redden likely going to try to work that fastball, as it's been her best commanded pitch, not only this game but all season. And that one's going to be cracked. Gracie Rhodes able to close the gap. Nearly a double play, but it's thrown offline. Brooklyn Atkins over to third. Double play! My goodness! Brooklyn Atkins, have yourself a day! The ball was thrown over the head of Emma Edens as Gracie Rhodes was able to close on it. But Brooklyn Atkins, as it came off the fence, she said, that's third base. That's my job. And she's able to pick her off as she throws a dime to Diana Porter. You cannot run on Brooklyn Atkins. That needs to be a warning sign on every team's sign whenever they go to the door. So a double play for Greenbrier West. Upstairs for ball one. So now over at second base, the bright side for the Knights is Kaylee Rose was able to move into scoring position, so a hit would still bring her in from Ray. Outside, ball two. So the Cavs getting some help from their defense. We're going to have time called. Ray's going to talk to her head coach. He's going to have a conference with them, as well as assistant coach for the Cavaliers as well. Pitching coach comes to talk to Briley Redden to have a quick word with her. And Brooklyn Atkins will also join in on the discussion. But man, oh man, that last play was absolutely massive. I don't know if we have enough time for a replay or what the replay even got on that last play. But regardless, it was a big one. If you're just tuning in, there was an absolute line drive there that nearly hit the gap. And Gracie Rhodes was able to catch it. And after she caught it, she threw it over the head of Emma Edens at first base. They would have had a double play, but then the ball bounced off the fence, and Brooklyn Atkins was able to throw a dart to Diana Porter and get the double play anyway. Called strike one on the outside corner. Brooklyn Atkins almost topping 60 miles an hour. Another pitch that hits 59 on the evening. Big pitch here, 2-1. And Ray feeling it. She's able to make contact. She had a big battle with Red in her last at bat, fouling off several pitches. Knights need her to straighten one out, see if they can hit one. As Layla Williams over there, right center. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. Here we go. She's got herself a really nice gap between left field, where Bevins is, and over Williams at right field, or excuse me, at center. Inside pitch there. So runners back up to first and second. Only difference is there's 2 outs. So it'll take a big 2-out hit here from Ashanti Bonds to drive him in. She was a strikeout victim from Red in her last at bat. So let's see what the left fielder can do here. Swung on and missed. Looked like she timed up her fastball pretty well, but was just a little bit over top of it. Is there some movement on the tail end? The 0-1. Swung on. That one's going to be grounded and fielded cleanly by Briley Redden. And Emma Eden's able to finish it off. Cavaliers with some nice defensive plays here. We're going to check it out again on the replay. This is the play we were talking to you about earlier. The absolute line drive. Play made there by Rhodes. And it was just offline. And over the head of Emma Edens. But, and a great job, camera work there by Mr. Joe Sharp, as he was able to catch Adkins on the dime over as Phoebe Dudgeon tried to move to third base and got caught. So Cavaliers still lead 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning.
R.T. Rogers Oil Company and Precision Delivery have many kind and knowledgeable long-term employees in our Hinton office who account for transactions and dispatch fuel and explain and educate about our many products, such as our wall heaters and also our fireplace logs, which are designed for residential space heating, and we also have Renai tankless water heaters available. We provide many different types of fuel storage tanks along with an experienced and trained crew that will be installing them. We will then make safe and timely deliveries to these storage tanks. Our long-term employees make deliveries and also install HVAC units and install generators, while Precision Delivery transports fuel in 6 states. So, call us for a quote or delivery.
Welcome back on the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. If you're just tuning in, as it is the Cavaliers' home half of the inning, if there is a home run hit by the Cavaliers, Dave's Towing is going to donate. And Jenna Hunter, she crushes it. Is it on cue? Yes, it is. Jenna Hunter. My goodness. The Dave's Dinger is hit by Jenna Hunter. She just earned herself $50. And her mom's up here in the press box and understandably fired up. Jenna Hunter makes the lead, 3-0 Cavaliers. Man, that couldn't be more on cue if you tried. Jenna Hunter absolutely crushed that one to left center field. Oh, we got to see a replay on that one. So thank you so much to Dave's Towing, as he'll donate $50 to Miss Jenna Hunter on that solo shot and give the Cavaliers their 3rd run of this ball game. Man, she was all over that fastball. Couldn't have timed that one any better if she tried. And here's the replay. Absolutely crushed it. We knew it here in the press box pretty much immediately that she got all of it. And she cleared the fence by several feet. So 0-1 is the count now as Emma Edens comes to bat. And that is more than exciting for Greenbrier West fans, as they've been really needing their underclassmen to get going here. And with Jenna Hunter getting her 2nd home run of this season, that's a way to do it, and that's what you want to see. Dudgeon. Swung on and missed there from Edens. Ray will be over, backed up a little bit at short. And Edens grounds it to Fowler. Cleanly played. And a good throw. She wasn't able to hold on to it. Edens Good job there by Edens, able to get her fingertips there on the bag. So that's going to be another error on the day. Error number 2 for this Mount View team. We're going to have time called. Looks like Eden's just a tad shook up, but I believe she's all right. She'll stay in the ball game. So the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, although Eden's reached on an error, she still put the ball in play. And sometimes that's all you need to do in order to reach base. And Tolly cracks that one out of play. So that'll be strike 1. First base coach for the Cavaliers is Heather giving Tolly some words of encouragement and some advice as she readies the at-bat. These are big at-bats, though, for the Cavaliers. Called strike on the bottom part of the zone. 0-2 will be the count. Kaylee Rose over at first base has been playing around a little bit, deciding whether she wants to move in or not. She'll stay back at first. But with those first 2 pitches, she usually moves in a little bit. Tolly swung on and missed. That'll be a strikeout victim. Another one for Phoebe Dudgeon. And that one's going to hit Diana Porter and allow runners to be on first and second. So Diana Porter has been on an absolute tear recently. And although not a hit, or at least not a hit to put the ball in play, she gets hit by a pitch to put runners at first and second. Batali was the 8th strikeout victim so far through 3 1/3 for Dudgeon. She's allowed 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, but then she's got those 8 strikeouts to go along with it. As for Briley Redden, 4 innings pitched, only allowing 1 hit, but 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. So the walks a little bit higher for Redden than usual, but nonetheless, still doing good, doing a good job. We'll see what she does here on this at bat. She's 1 for 1 on the day so far. And David Austin, the home plate umpire, is going to wipe it off. Get everything cleaned out, ready to roll. As Redden will step up to the plate, the number 2 hitter. And I don't know if Mr. Dave's Towing agreed to do multiple home runs or not. But this would be a good time for the Cavaliers to be able to find out. As Briley Redden certainly a danger at any point. Exactly. Test the theory. I love that. Yes. Test it and see. So 1-0 is the count now on Redden. That one's going to make it outside. But Ella Berry, who's coming in to run, she's running for Tolly right now. Or excuse me, Emma Edens, I apologize, not Lake and Tolly. Lake and Tolly struck out and hurt bad, and that's the 1 out. So Redden watches that one upstairs and away a little bit for ball number 3. So favorable hitters count. And if you're going to walk a player in this lineup, Redden is the one to do it. She's the leading batting average on the team. And she, on the 3-0, turned back. And her third base coach looked at her and says, "What are you doing, man? You're not supposed to be hitting your coach." I love it. All right, 3-1 count. And as we were talking about home runs earlier, Briley Redden has 6 of them and leads the Cavaliers. So this would be a Great time for number 7. She watches strike 2 to draw the count full. Big at bat right here. This could honestly choose whether the Knights are able to come back in this ball game or not. A 5 deficit is different than a 3. And Redden crushes that one. It's deep left field. Gone! Briley Redden, a 3-run homer. As you can see it there on the outfield camera over on the drone shot. And we got 2 homers. Cavaliers double their lead from 3 to 6. And Mr. Dave from Dave's Towing, I guess we're going to find out if the Dave's Dinger goes to multiple players or not. I would say it would. Mr. Dave from Dave's Towing has been such a good supporter of the channel ever since I've been a part of it. I'm sure he's enjoying watching this as well because, man, that was a crush by Briley Redden. And now the Cavaliers have 6 runs on 6 hits. You can't ask for better efficiency if you're Greenbrier West. And their bats are coming through, and it's not just their seniors. So Phoebe Dudgeon on the evening so far, she's at 78 pitches, which is not alarming. Briley Redden's also at 76, which Redden still has, or Phoebe Dudgeon, still has to finish out this bottom of the 4th. But nonetheless, they're still pretty similar in pitches. Called strike on the inside part of the zone. What I was told was any home run, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. What I was told was any home run, but I'm not 100% sure. Adkins swung on and missed, and Adkins has been just a tad bit off of her usual today. She's 1 for 3 on the day, and that's her second time she's been a strikeout victim. But Eliana Dietz now up to bat. Dietz 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but she has reached on a walk. And the count is 1-0, so you get to see her being able to get there early. And Dietz laid on that swing as it'll get out of play. But for those of you that did not watch Wednesday's matchup, and I know Cavalier fans know what I'm already about to say, but for those of you that didn't get to watch it, the Cavaliers led 7-0 after the 5th inning, and the Mount View Lady Knights came back and won the game 12-8 in the 7th inning. So if you think this game is over, you're incorrect. They came back from a deficit that was 1 run more than this, and their bats exploded out of nowhere. And keep in mind, they did it with no home runs. It was just their bats catching fire at the correct time. As you can see, that ball was chipped foul over near Fowler at third base. Just saying that 5 times fast. Foul over near Fowler. Miss Dudgeon requests a new softball. As she reaches, so far on the evening, 85 pitches. And upstairs on Dietz, good eye from Eliana Dietz. She thought about checking right there, and she was able to hold back. So full count here, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Huge pitch here, more or less for the Cavaliers to be able to get Dietz rolling. And that's exactly what they're going to get. Just kidding, it's going to be just foul as Dietz tried to straighten it out near the opposite field, but it lands foul. As of today, anyway, that was our closest foul ball. And Dudgeon requests the ball. Home plate umpire lets her know to go ahead and just put it near the side of the backstop. And we resume play. The 3-2 again here from Dudgeon. Inside, ball 4. So nonetheless, if anything, Eliana Dietz has been able to get on base twice with walks. So even if she hasn't been able to put the bat to the ball, which she was very close to a hit there earlier, she's still been able to reach base. And this Cavalier home crowd definitely loving what they've seen so far through 3 2/3 innings. Bevan shows bunt. She did that just to give Dietz a chance to advance into scoring position. But the pitch was upstairs for ball 1. So a hit here for Bevans. She does have an RBI today with a walk. Called strike. Dietz thought about moving up, but she opts to stay. And time called by home plate umpire Austin. And we resume play. Overall, though, this is almost, it feels like all 3 games have played out the exact same way. The difference will be, can the Cavaliers hold on, especially when it comes to the 5th and 6th innings? Or I should say 6th and 7th innings, because the Knights didn't have any even after 5. So we'll see if the Cavaliers can hold off. They would love for them to be able to get those 8 runs by the 5th inning and just to get a run roll. Low pitch called ball 3. So the run rules is you have to go at least 5 innings in these postseason games at regionals. And it is 8 runs after 5 innings. So if the Cavaliers can tack on 2 more by the end of the 5th, called strike on the outside part of the zone to drive it full 3-2. But if the Cavaliers are able to score 2 more runs here in the bottom of the 4th, between the bottom of the 4th and the bottom of the 5th, they will take the victory if Mountain View is not able to score. But they've proven that they can do it, just like they did on Wednesday, and Bevans will be retired. So that'll do it as they're able to strand that runner at second base. Cavaliers up 6-0 after 4.
R.T. Rogers Oil Company and Precision Delivery have many kind and knowledgeable long-term employees in our Hinton office who account for transactions and dispatch fuel and explain and educate about our many products, such as our wall heaters and also our fireplace logs, which are designed for residential space heating, and we also have Rinnai tankless water heaters available. We provide many different types of fuel storage tanks along with an experienced and trained crew that will be installing them. We will then make safe and timely deliveries to these storage tanks. Our long-term employees make deliveries and also install HVAC units and install generators, while Precision Delivery transports fuel in 6 states. So, call us for a quote or delivery.
Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the 5th inning. Cavaliers able to have an explosive bottom of the 4th to tack on 4 more insurance runs, and they lead 6-0. But it's been a good game so far. Cavaliers 6 hits, and they've been able to score almost all those runners. One of them was walked in, but a nice out of the park feeling on the Dave's Towing Dingers there in the 4th inning, as Jenna Hunter started out the inning swinging at the first pitch and crushing a solo shot, And Briley Redden also a 3-run homer. So 2 home runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. And I'm sure the Lady Knights would like to do the same. Here we go. So it'll be Fowler here with the bombsicle bat. And she swings on and misses and will yield strike 1. 56 miles an hour there from Briley Redden on the pitch cam. Or pitch speed, I would say. Swung on and missed again. And also at 56, that's brought to you by Burke and Herbert Bank. So the 0-2, Fowler defending upstairs. That'll be ball 1. So Redden just a tad, allowing a couple more walks than usual, but still overall doing a fantastic job through 4. On the line, 1 hit and 7 strikeouts, as that is number 7. The Cavaliers will set Fowler down. And now up to bat for your Mount View Lady Knights is Brianna Hood. Hood so far 0 for 1 on the day. It'll be Hood, and then Barnes is on deck. She's eager to get herself a rip today as Hood hits that one, but it's right back where it came, and Hood stopped halfway between home and first and just surrendered it. So Briley Redden can't get much more efficient than what she's done so far in this top of the 5th. And Mount View in danger of running out of time and outs here in this ball game. Redden. Inside pitch. It'll be called ball number 1. It's been a good series, though, between these two teams. Cavaliers also got the best of Mount View last year, taking both games to make it to the state tournament. Barnes, that one right in between Porter and Dietz, and a nice backhand stop by Eliana Dietz, but a better hit by Barnes as it was able to split the 2 defenders. And that is only the 2nd allowed hit on the day by the senior ace, Briley Redden, who's looked almost perfect on the rubber. Now Cheyenne Belcher, who's been a strikeout victim both times at the plate. And that's a foul ball, as it is tipped out of the strike zone. These are important here. Even though it's 2 outs, these are huge, huge, huge at-bats. If you're a Knights fan, got to have runners on base. Find a way to put pressure. And speaking of pressure, Brooklyn Adkins, a rare pass ball, and that will allow Barnes to make it into scoring position. And the Cavaliers, all they're thinking right now is find a way to get out of this inning, get to the bottom of the 5th, score 2 runs, and get out of here. They don't want what happened on Wednesday night to happen again. These are big, big, big plate appearances here. Cheyenne Belcher, the 1-1. Called strike. That will allow Barnes to move 60. So she'll move a little bit closer. But Belcher on the 1-2 count. So a couple rare pass balls. Well, the first one was passed. The second one stayed in front of her, but Barnes has way too much speed. And Belcher, that one is foul tipped, and it'll be a strikeout. That is number 8 on the day for Briley Redden, and we're going to head now to the bottom of the 5th. Cavaliers need 2 to head on to the state tournament and visit Charleston.
Medical Center is excellent healthcare right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more at locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent healthcare right at home.
Welcome back. Bottom of the fifth is getting ready to start. Cavaliers need 2 runs, and they will be moving on to the state tournament in Charleston. It is a 8-run roll. If they're able to score 8 runs here, or have 8 runs on the board, I should say, that will do it. It'll be Rhodes Hunter who homered in her last at bat. And then Edens, as you can see the aerial coverage right there, provided by Advanced Hydraulics, and we are ready to roll. Gracie Rhodes, anything she can do to get on base here, she'll take it. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And that one laid down, but it's straight to the pitcher. And the out is recorded, so good, clean play from Dudgeon over to Rose. That is Kaylee Rose. And Jenna Hunter would love to repeat what she did in her last at-bat. If we have enough time, we'll show you the replay of her last home run. She steps up to the plate. And that one's low for ball 1. 56 also from Dudgeon. So Redden and Dudgeon both heaters hitting anywhere from about 55 to 59 miles an hour. And Hunter, she cracks that one but got underneath of it. And it will be a foul out as Dudgeon goes out of play to record it. So the Cavaliers now with 2 outs. And unless if something drastic changes, we will see a 6th inning. Emma Edens now up to bat. She is 1 for 2 on the day. One of the youngins for the Cavaliers. Definitely would love to see her get a crack here. Outside ball 1. So Edens is the number 8 hitter in this lineup. Lakin Tolley sitting there on deck, anxious to get herself a hit in this ball game. Outside ball 2. So outside the zone a little bit to start out this at bat is Dudgeon. You could definitely tell her senior presence though on the rubber. Don't know what quite happened there. She looked like her hand might have hit the side of her thigh, possibly. Not sure, but regardless, still ruled a ball. So that'll be ball 3. But Dudgeon, back to what I was saying earlier, she's able to bounce back pretty well, even after allowing as many runs as she did last inning. She's having a little bit of a discussion and giggling with her home dugout. Called strike on the bottom part of the zone as Edens was watching all the way on the 3-0. See what the Cavaliers do here. Would love to get Edens on base and to try to not even give the Knights a chance. Called strike on the outside corner. So Dudgeon works her way back from down 3-0 to a full count. Massive at bat right here. We're ready for whatever happens. Pitches away. Swung on and missed. And the Knights survive till the 6th. Top of the 6th inning, here we go. The Knights, they need a few to tack on. We're going to check out a replay here on Advanced Hydraulics. This was Jenna Hunter's homer as she batted just in this past inning, and that was the result. Didn't get that this at bat, but we'll see if she is able to get one more as the Cavaliers will be pitching to the Knights here in the top of the 6th when we come back. Somewhere about right here in center field. All right, welcome back as Brooklyn Adkins calls the balls down. Cavaliers need a couple outs here, and I do not have the exact rules for you guys in regionals. When I do, I'll let you know. The Cavaliers may just need 3 outs in order for this to be it. But the last time the Knights were in this situation, they scored 7 runs in the 6th inning alone. 8 runs and took the lead 8-7. The Cavaliers going to do everything they can to avoid that this time. Called strike 1 on the bottom part of the zone. 57 coming off the right arm of Briley Redden. And her rubber opponent, Phoebe Dudgeon, 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. And Dudgeon, nice play made there. Oh, what a snag by Emma Edens. She says, give me that. If she's able to rob Phoebe Dudgeon of a hit, we got to check that out on the Advanced Hydraulics replay, as that was absolutely cracked off the end of the bat of Dudgeon. She did a good job bringing her hands in, too, to keep it fair. But unfortunately, Edens, that one's cracked. Over Rose. Rose, home run. Kaylee Rose, a solo shot. And the Knights trying to do what they did on Wednesday. They crack a solo shot to lessen the lead, 6-1 now. Big hit there for this Mount View Lady Knights team. For Kaylee Rose, that was her first home run of the season, so she had not found yard until that moment. Big home run there for the Knights. They need some base runners, but they'll definitely take what they just got. And now Maddie Rose, the catcher, up to bat for the Lady Knights. Lady Knights aren't going away anytime soon. Down and in the dirt for ball 1. And all you could think if you're a Cavaliers fan is, let's get these 3 outs and let's get out of here as soon as possible. And that one, a shot, and it's going to be an error on Lake and Tully as she slid and was not able to make the play cleanly. So teams are evened up now with errors, 2 errors for each team on the evening. I apologize. That is 1 for Mount View and 2 for Greenbrier West. So Greenbrier West now has 1 more error. Outside pitch will be called ball 1. And the away side for Mount View making some noises. Tyshira Ray, the shortstop, is up to bat. The speedy shortstop, I might add. She won't have enough speed to make it there to first as the Cavaliers get their first out of the top of the 6. But that will advance the runner into scoring position. With Ashanti Bonds up to bat. She's got 10 hits on the season, 7 singles, 1 double, and 2 triples. So she's got speed. Let's see if it happens here. Swung on. That one's going to make it past Edens. And the Cavaliers not able to make the play. That's going to score Rose. So Maddie Rose comes across the plate. And another error for the Cavaliers. So 3 errors now on the evening. And the door went from almost shut completely to now there's a little crack open for the Mount View Lady Knights. And they're trying to open up the door right now. There's something about the 6th inning for the Knights against the Cavaliers, and I don't know what it is. It's almost like it's the Cavaliers' kryptonite. Called strike on the inside part of the zone. Man, what a ball game this is turning out to be. If you're just tuning in, the Knights had not scored a run until this part of the inning. And Bonds was absolutely begging for Brooklyn Atkins to throw over. But Atkins doesn't take the bait. The count will stay even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swung on and missed. Nasty heat there. She's able to get it past the third baseman, Fowler. Fowler has been a strikeout victim in her 2 at-bats. And time called by Coach Austin. Home plate umpire Austin, I should say. And she's having a discussion with her at third. And looks like Fowler just a little bit emotional as she readies the at-bat. She'll bring herself together. As she faces a 1-2 count, she knows how important this at-bat is for her team. The 8-hitter in the lineup. Can she come through with the bombsicle bat? And outside, Bonds. Not enough speed. Oh, and they're going to call her safe. My goodness, we're going to have to check out that replay. I thought she made the tag. We're going to definitely have to take a look at that. So it was outside. But Bonds looked like she was just jogging over to second, was daring Brooklyn Atkins to throw. And the ground out will be made at first base by Fowler. So the ground out was made, and somehow that was a great call there by the first base umpire. Mr. Stentz able to see that because we thought for sure from our angle that was out, but that's why they're the umpires and we're not. So Mount View able to strike here, tack on 2 runs. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Cavaliers lead by 4.
Raynell Medical Center is excellent healthcare right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more. At locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent healthcare right at home.
We got a ball game at Western Greenbrier Middle School. We not only have a ball game, but also we're going to have a substitution. Let's see who it is. It is Miss Kaylin Thornton. The freshman will come into bat. She will bat for, give me 1 second and I will let you all know. She will bat for Lake and Tolly. So Tolly been a little bit off lately, so they'll give Thornton a chance. One of the other freshmen on this extremely young Cavaliers team, I might add. Only have 2 seniors. I don't know how many juniors they have. There's not a lot of them. It's mostly, this team is filled with freshmen and sophomores. So Thornton, outside pitch. She'll watch ball 1. I'm sure that'll help her ease her nerves a little bit. She's able to get ahead of the count early here. So Thornton also plays basketball as well. So multi-sport athlete. Pitches away from Dudgeon. Swung on, but way behind the fastball. 54 mile an hour gets past her. She'll have to time it up as she gets ready. Count is evened up, 1 ball, 1 strike. These are big at bats here for Greenbrier West. They need to extend this lead. Outside. Looks like she timed up that one a little bit better, but just a little bit above it. So now 1 ball, 2 strikes on Thornton. It is the 9-1-2 hitters for the Cavaliers, so Porter is on deck. And Thornton got a piece of that one as it is foul balled over towards the away dugout of Mountview. And this would get this Cavaliers home side and their dugout absolutely fired up, as Thornton has not had it at bat yet here in regional play. Outside pitch there, called ball 2. So we're going to get to Thornton's stats here on the season. She has, on the season, 2 at-bats, 333 on base percentage in her 3 plate appearances, but does not have a hit. So this would be a huge moment for her and her family. And that ball's going to be called upstairs for ball 3. So she'll face a full count. See if she can get the Greenbrier West Cavaliers fired up after allowing those 2 runs in the 5th. Pitches away. Outside, she'll walk. Kaylee Thornton on board. And I apologize, I said the 5th is when they scored the runs. It was the 6th, top of the 6th. It seems like that's when the Knights decide to come up and be ready to roll. And that seems like it's been the difference throughout the series. It usually takes the Cavaliers 2 innings to rev their engine and get started. But the Knights, it takes them about 5. And there's 3 innings of difference. And we're going to have a runner. It'll be Addison Dietz, the senior, for the Cavaliers. And I'm going to go ahead and pick on the umpires that I was talking to pregame. The courtesy runner comes onto the base pads to run for Miss Thornton upstairs. That's going to allow Dietz to move up 60. So she's in scoring position. Is Diana Porter, who has been really hot for the Cavaliers as of late. She's 1 for 2 on the day and has scored twice. Got a hit and was hit by a pitch. Swung on and missed. Man, she was out of her shoes, as you can see the aerial coverage right there of Miss Dudgeon, and also Porter. She readies her bat. And Porter gets that bunt down in a good spot. Not quite enough speed Good call there by Mike Stintz, the first base umpire. And dodging over to Rose, Kaylee Rose to be specific. And that'll be the first out of this bottom of the 6th. But it does the job as it moves up Addison Dietz 60 feet. And now the RBI leader, home run leader, pretty much everything leader for the Cavaliers, Briley Redden now. She's 2 for 3 on the day. Or excuse me, 2 for 2 on the day. I apologize. She's got 3 RBIs, and I don't know if we have it or not, but if we do, we'll show you her last at bat, which was a 3-run shot straight to left field, right over the head of Miss Ashanti Bonds, and as they're replacing some softballs, and we're back at it. Dudgeon, the 0-1. Swung on, and that one's going to go straight back for strike 2. Defending will be Redden. She's not in a uncomfortable position. She's been here before. As for Dudgeon, congratulations to her. Through 5 1/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, but she does have 10 strikeouts. So she's able to hit the double digits in this outing. And Redden cracks that one. Bonds is back. That's going to stay in, and the catch is made by Bonds. Smart base running there by Addison Dietz, and she'll tag up. And although the out is recorded, Briley Redden more than gets enough of that ball to do the job and bring in another run for Greenbrier West. So that will clear the bases for the catcher, Brooklyn Adkins. And the Cavaliers tack on another run to make it 7-2. Brooklyn Adkins, possibly, more than likely, her last at bat here on this field at Western Greenbrier. Her and Redden's both. And if that was Redden's last out, definitely a way to spend it. And we'll see how Adkins does with hers. The 1-0. It'll be upstairs for ball 2. They've both been an absolute joy to watch, but especially Adkins has a state championship under her belt whenever Greenbrier West won the volleyball state championship back in 2024. She's been able to 3 balls, no strikes. But she has had a fantastic career here at Greenbrier West. A ton of personal accolades, but even more team ones. As she'll watch strike 1, as the count will go to 3 balls, 1 strike. And there's nothing like a feeling of winning a state championship, something less than 5% of kids in high school even get to witness. And Adkins will pop that one up as Ray is able to make the final out of this 6th inning. So we're going to head now to the top of the 7th, and this will be it. If the Mountain View Lady Knights can't score at least 5 runs, let's see if they can do it here on the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network.
R.T. Rogers Oil Company and Precision Delivery have many kind and knowledgeable long-term employees in our Hinton office who account for transactions and dispatch fuel and explain and educate about our many products, such as our wall heaters and also our fireplace logs, which are designed for residential space heating. And we also have Rinnai tankless water heaters available. We provide many different types of fuel storage tanks along with an experienced and trained crew that will be installing them. We will then make safe and timely deliveries to these storage tanks. Our long-term employees make deliveries and also install HVAC units and install generators, while Precision Delivery transports fuel in 6 states. So, call us for a quote or delivery.
Raynell Medical Center is excellent healthcare right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more. At locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent healthcare right at home.
Got when I went to Pittsburgh. Alrighty, welcome back everyone to the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. It'll be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters, Hood, Barnes, and Belcher. The Lady Knights need 5 to keep this game going into the bottom of the 7th. Winner of this game goes to Charleston. Loser goes home. Cavaliers just 3 outs away from experiencing another state tournament berth. And although there's not a ton of experience on this Cavaliers team at the state tournament outside of Redden and Adkins, I'm sure they would love to be able to give their young guns, their sophomores and freshmen, a little taste of it. But the Lady Knights are going to see if they have something else to say about that. Stats overall are actually pretty similar for both squads. I keep checking out Game Changer and notice that one of the errors that I thought was charged on Greenbrier West was not so. West has 2 errors. Hood grounds that one to Porter. Cleanly fielded over to Edens. That's the first out. All right, back up to the top of the lineup. And it'll be Barnes, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Had that hit between Porter and Dietzer last at bat. And you could see the Cavalier fans anxious for their team to be able to pull away with this victory. Barnes swing and a miss. Overall, the Lady Knights have been doing a good job making contact, but just haven't quite been able to put the ball in play like they did on Wednesday evening, at least to this point. And swung on, and that's going to make it under the glove of Diana Porter. And so a single with 1 out to go here in the top of the 7th inning. And now Cheyenne Belcher, she's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Right now would be the perfect time for her to change that. She needs a hit badly. Or even at this point, Mount View just needs base runners to put some pressure on Briley. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Bright side for the Mountain View Lady Knights is that their deficit whenever they came back on Wednesday night wasn't by as much as this. Clean fieldly by Porter. And the Mountain View Lady Knights are down to their last out. They advance Barnes over to second, but the Cavaliers now no longer concerned, and how fitting that Phoebe Dudgeon is the one up to bat. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. Regardless of how this at bat goes, Dudgeon has done a great job against Redden, and then of course vice versa. Upstairs for ball one. But if this is the last at bat of Dudgeon's career, she's had a good one in her 4 years at Mount View. The 1-1. Called strike. And the Lady Knights are down to their last strike. Pitches away. Swung on, cracked, but it's going to go foul. You can see Dudgeon there on the aerial cam. She's going to give this at bat every last bit that she has. And she fouls that one off the inside part of her hands. She'll stay alive now. A couple foul balls. Red and readies. Pitches away. Swung on! Foul tip! Cavaliers are moving on to the state tournament. And Briley Redden, another tremendous outing as the Cavaliers, despite dropping the first of these 3 games, are going to advance. Final score 7-2. And what a run this has been, especially by the main 3 seniors this evening. Of course, Briley Redden, Brooklyn Adkins, and then Phoebe Dudgeon. Those 3 have had a great career. And the Cavaliers are moving on in a beautiful view of Western Greenbrier Middle School. Country roads playing in the background. And as Miss Hudson Pillar, the assistant principal for the Greenbrier West Cavaliers, gives them the trophy as the Cavaliers are Region 3 champions. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to have interviews for you guys, so make sure you follow the Greenbrier Valley Channel Sports Network. I'm going to be interviewing them off air, and we will have them recorded, especially for all you family and friends that want to see them. So we will do that here in just a few minutes. My name is Matthew Thomas, calling the game this evening. Joe Sharp on the camera, and Harry Vance, the producer. God bless every single one of you guys, and so long from Western Greenbrier Middle School. And once again, final score, the Cavaliers 7, Mount View Lady Knights 2. Good night, everyone.
R.T. Rogers Oil Company and Precision Delivery have many kind and knowledgeable long-term employees in our Hinton office who account for transactions and dispatch fuel and explain and educate about our many products, such as our wall heaters and also our fireplace logs, which are designed for residential space heating. And we also have Renai tankless water heaters available. We provide many different types of fuel storage tanks along with an experienced and trained crew that will be installing them. We will then make safe and timely deliveries to these storage tanks. Our long-term employees make deliveries and also install HVAC units and install generators, while Precision Delivery transports fuel in 6 states. So, call us for a quote or delivery.
Medical Center is excellent healthcare right at home. Primary care, behavioral health, dental, pharmacy, full-service lab, and more. At locations close to you in Raynell, Meadowbridge, Alderson, White Sulphur Springs, Maxwellton, Midland Trail, and Lewisburg. Call 304-438-6188. Raynell Medical Center. Excellent healthcare right at home.